How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Not bad, yeah, not bad.
Listen, can I
So
just
nice
begin
to
the
meet
interview
you,
saying that
Genelia.
you have the most infectious and the most sparkling smile ever in Bollywood. So we are very, very happy to be chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I mean, every time we see her smile like that, it's like Aditi. Like, oh, she's back.
Thank you so much.
So nice to meet you,
No,
Genelia.
speaking of
Yeah.
Aditi, by the way, Janelia, it's so interesting that one of your most loved films, of course, Jaane Jaane Na, was also with Aamir Khan Productions, and now Sitaare Zameen Par is also with Aamir Khan Productions. And I was just thinking that it's so interesting that you were romancing the nephew a few years ago, and now you are with the uncle, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about the shift, how things have changed with Aamir Khan Productions, and how are the two Khans different?
Of course they're going to be. That's what's special about them. But I think I'm different. I think when I did Aditi, I was a teeny bopper. Life was different. Life didn't happen at that point in time. Then I think I got married. I have my wife. I have kids, and now I'm doing Sitare, which is similar to the life that's happened to me. On board. So while Jaane was extremely special, so is Sitaare Zameen Par because I mean we act with actors. This just happens to be in one family, but you keep acting with different actors, right? And you develop your own equation with every actor. I honestly feel that while Imran and me had a great time and we were both young and we were both different people then, we were also a very big gang over there. So um, it was a whole lot of other interactions as well. We were all friends. We actually did the film like friends, and thanks to AKPL because they're so clear that everything needs to be organic. This film,
Mm.
of I had a lot more time to spend with Amir sir. I got a chance to interact with him, to be his friend on days, to be his actor on days. He was the producer, so there were days that I was just his actor more than his co-actor, and I think I have a very special relationship with him. I really really appreciate him. I really really appreciate the work that he does. I
Mm.
really appreciate the films that he backs, and I honestly feel honored to work with a superstar after like 10 years probably.
Yeah.
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 Like I
You know,
think.
you have been in the movie industry for quite some time now, right? And like you spoke very highly of Amir Khan sir, is there anything that you took away when you sat with him, maybe, while you were not shooting and talking to him as an actor, as a person? Is there something that, he told you that made a mark and you remember it even now?
You know,
Anything you learned basically from him after all these years?
movie. I sat in a production house with Ritesh. I mean, it was Ritesh's dream. I actually joined to help him out, but now I pretty much run the production house, there. And I remember Jane too when he was pure producer. And I would just hear him talk and hear him chat. And I would think that if someday I ever produce films, I want to be a patch of AKPL, back then. Today also when I see him as an actor or as a producer, and because I've had such close interactions with him, I'm constantly listening. If not listening, I'm constantly observing because he's an encyclopedia of information that he gives. It also comes from the fact that he's been an assistant director before. So he
Hmm.
player. He gets the sentiments of. I've seen a lot of actors. I've seen some who feel extremely entitled for the position that they own. But on an AKPL film, everyone's a partner. I feel everyone's contributing to the film. So if I'm chosen as Sunita, and even if I have 15 minutes in the film, you make sure your 15 minutes are worth it. Forget that. If you have 2 minutes of the film, you will be auditioned for those 2 minutes also. So one feels that why are you auditioning me? I mean, I don't feel that, but a lot may feel that why are you auditioning me? You've seen my body of work over, all these years. But I feel it's your chance to prove yourself again and again, and for you as an actor to feel confident that, wow, I auditioned and I got the role because I auditioned. So he
Mm.
always says, Amir always says that I don't give opportunities. I do what's best for the film. He doesn't realize how many opportunities he gives. He doesn't realize what a big deal he is. I keep telling him that it may mean nothing for you, but for me, it's like stars in my eyes. I have grown up watching you as a superstar. I'm getting to share screen space with you. How much more can I get in this world? I mean, what more do I want?
I think you're
Absolutely.
being very humble. I think Janelia, you're
Yeah.
extremely talented and you deserve your place in this movie. I was watching the trailer and it just occurred to me that the film seems to be working on basically two arcs. One is, of course, the team should win the final match. I mean, that's what the grand finale looks like. But also the journey of Gulshan, right? He becoming a better human being, he evolving as a human being. And what I could gather was Sunita's role is very important. Uh, to make him a better human being, right? Sunita and Gulshan's mother. Could you elaborate a little more on what your part is and how you're contributing to the film?
Lokesh, as like in Jaane, I'm there from beginning to the end. Like there's no missing me at all. Da, 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 da. Here, like you said, there are two aspects of the film. There's one's the team and there's one's Gulshan. I'm Gulshan's part. Like I'm with Gulshan. We are two. I'm very clear. He's also very clear, but he's not very sensitive, as a
Mm,
human. I'm like, how can you say this again and again? And what he's saying is true. It's not true. It's not true, but it's just there's just no sensitivity. And I keep telling him, how can you say these things? I mean, how many times in life do we have these conversations that,
Yeah.
you're not getting my point or you're not understanding where, or to a point of being commitment phobic very often, you don't
Yeah.
realize that this is this is not my responsibility very often, and more so men, they tend to shift away from their responsibility. There's always an anchor. Now it generally happens to be the woman in
woman.
their life. I mean, it generally happens to be their wife, or the impact they have. And honestly, I felt that was the best part of the role. I felt the relationship that I have with him, wherein I guide him. And there's this role, there's a dialogue where I'm saying, "Ye team, तुम्हारी responsibility है." मतलब, you
Right.
have to do that. That's in the promo also.
Yeah.
These conversations very often with my children also.
I
Like
was just I was just gonna ask, have you taken the real life Genelia D'Souza into the character for in the movie? Have you had these conversations in real life as well?
relationship a lot. It's not my relationship, not me and Ritesh. Ritesh never fight. Ritesh has
I've heard that, yeah.
he fights. So and Gulshan only runs away. So it's not me per se, but it's a lot of my growing of coming to this point as this Janelia that we're talking to right now, right? Like I don't think when I don't think there was so many responsibilities when I was younger, right? Because I lived in my parents' home. I was not a homemaker. Children's schedules weren't the most important on my schedule. Now things have changed. So I feel all that really helped in understanding the character, and hence I felt even more excited that I'm getting something to play, which is my world now, which I understand. It may not be Genelia, per se. Like I've always said, that we often portray a very, very strong woman and nothing wrong in that, or we
Mm,
portray a girl who's just at home. Like we portray these two aspects
Mm.
of girls, but we
mm,
don't portray the middle route, that there are girls who can manage both. There are girls
mm,
who be ambitious and be a great homemaker. We don't talk about those, or we don't write those roles for those girls.
mm,
And I think Sunita is someone like that. Like I think that's her personality, and I'm glad. And for years, this has been my thing for years. So the first thing me and Prasanna met and we spoke about was, why don't we make those roles for those that middle route? Like, you know,
mm,
doesn't mean that if you're ambitious, you're always going to be hard, or it doesn't mean that if you're at home, you're always going to be dumb. You know,
true.
Yes,
like
true.
very often they are so like thankfully I haven't been associated because my roles have been so strong. But very often a cute girl is very often looked at as someone who's clueless. But I'm like, I hope I'm cute, but you know.
You're cute also.
No, no, I think most of your characters have had agency, thankfully, and we're kind of looking forward to seeing that in Sunita as well. Janelia, before we let you go, we know that we don't really have much time, but before we let you go, just for fun's sake, the title of the movie is Sitaare Zameen Par. Okay, so stars down to earth. Now you have worked with a lot of superstars and stars, so we are just going to give you some actors' names. You tell us whether they were Sitaare Zameen Par or they were not down to earth. Okay.
Sitaare Zameen Par, please don't put me in. I'm 100% going to say Sitaare Zameen Par.
Okay, okay. Of all the stars, I'll list. Okay, so from John Ibrahim, Shahid, Imran Khan, Pratik Babbar, and Aamir Khan, who is the most Sitaare Zameen Par? Who's the most down to earth of all the five actors?
Can I say Ritesh Deshmukh?
I, for, I,
We knew
for
it.
a reason, I did not put that name in the list.
He's my co-star.
Okay, yeah, he was your
Okay,
co-star, but
besides,
yeah, he's not in the list.
he's not in the, besides Ritesh Deshmukh, who all of
Huh.
these five? Shahid, John, Imran, Pratik, and Aamir. Who do you think is the most Sitaare Zameen Par?
See, I'm never going to answer this question. I've had a great rapport with each of them, which is very different from each one. Like with John, like I remember at that point in time, I wasn't into fitness, and I got into fitness like towards COVID. I used to eat vada pav with John, like and he would keep telling me this is going to stay for 6 days in my stomach. I used to be like, John, give me a break, like. So my relationship with each of these actors has been very different. Like honestly, a lot of people don't know, but Imran and me spoke more about how he is as a director than an actor. When we were doing, Jaane though, like he always spoke about how he's fascinated about direction and like Shayad and me were friends. We were literally friends. We were. I loved bikes. He loved bikes. We used to go on bike rides together. Pratik and me have this great energy. We've never been cast opposite each other, but we've this brother and sister relationship. Again,
Right.
scenes, but I mean, I think everyone remembers those scenes, right?
Yes,
Of course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He had this like he would tell me like I remember his first thing when he met me. He was one of those who remembered my first film with Ritesh Deshmukh, which I did Tujhe Meri Kasam, and I was so surprised. And he was there used to be these huge hoardings, and we used to be like, "Wow, this is that." So I've had these kind of interactions which are very different with each person and on a different line. With Amir today, we discuss life. We discuss kids. Our kids are in the same school. We discuss music. So honestly, it's like very different, and I honestly feel with me in per se, I've never had someone throw a hectic attitude, a tantrum with
Mm,
me because I don't attract those people. I like, if someone's throwing that, I'll leave. Like I literally,
yeah.
because I don't want to be
Very
of that place. So I don't
Right.
attract people like that. I don't attract the Sitare Zameen Par type people.
But speaking of interaction, Janelia, sorry, it's a very important part of the movie. Before we let you go again, you have interacted with, specially abled actors this time. It's very different from the characters and people you've been working with in movies. Um, how did you prepare for such a role, and what was your relationship with them on sets?
You know, I thought that I had to prepare a bit more because of the thing that we think, right? Like you have to do it in a certain way. But when I came on set, they were exactly like any other co-star that I have acted with. In fact, if anything else, they had zero egos, like Amisa said in a couple of interviews. They have zero egos. They will do what you want. They are so giving as actors. They will stand with you throughout. You will stand with them throughout. You will just like post shot, I would sit with them and speak to them. So many of them work, they gym, they walk like there's a Vedant and me would walk on set because I love walking. So I would never sit. I would keep doing my steps and walking around. He would walk with me every day. He's like, I love walking, you know. So it was just normal co-stars, is what I feel. Like um, uh, the whole zone that I thought I had to prepare a lot was irrelevant because what I had to do was come and have the best time of my life. And honestly, if nothing else, I've got triple the love that I could ever get on any set ever. Like, and it's just pure. They just come to you and tell you how much they like you. They've their first thing is to love. They don't know an emotion of hate, which I feel as a human being I've changed, you know, because you're always skeptical about someone new that you're meeting. You'll always think, will they like me? Will they want? How will I break ice? Maybe I want, maybe I won't. Yeah, you will get along. You will get along with them. And it's because of them, because they are so giving versus the kind of people that we think we are. We're not. We're just so guarded, so structured. We don't know how to love with our hearts open, and that's what I learned from the Sitares.
It's interesting
That's
how you're saying that the first emotion that they have is love, and that's pretty much for all Amir Khan films as well. So we're definitely looking forward to watching Sitaare Zameen Par releasing on the 20th of June. Thank you so much, Genelia, for talking to City 1016. It really, really means a lot.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so